Well, so we're here with our first ever guests on the Travelling Tom podcast. We're with Chris O'Hare and Gabriella Gratrix. I've pronounced that correctly.
That's right, yeah.
From Chris and Gabs World Cycling Tour. They've got one of the most remarkable stories. Well, it's still underway, but one of the most remarkable stories I've heard. They're about to go on a cycling tour across the world to over 60 countries, 7 continents, covering over 100,000 kilometres.
He's correct.
That's right, yeah.
And yeah, just to hear what they've got to say is going to be amazing. But even at the beginning of your guys' relationship, you were still making headlines, weren't you? I believe I saw it's the Blackpool Gazette. Blackpool
Gazette, yeah.
So would you like to tell us a bit more about the how you met each other, shall we say?
How did we meet each other? Well, I'll try not to bore you too much, but I just moved back from Australia and basically getting divorced, all that sort of thing. And then, previous to that, I packed in my company, emigrated to Australia. I was supposed to be staying there permanently, and then it only lasted 12 months. So I came back to the UK, back in my previous property, and then thought, right, now what do I do? So when I was in Australia, I did a lot of cycling, and so when I came back, I just picked up from there really, and I wanted to organise a coast to coast in a day, which was basically I organised one called Wheelers for Waterloo, which was Whitby to Blackpool in a day, which is a 150-mile ride.
That's East Coast UK.
Yeah. So we did it the opposite way around. It was just for the logistics, it was easier for people, rather than going to Whitby. And then it was getting everybody back. So we thought, well, we'll get everyone drops off at Whitby and cycle back to Blackpool. But I wasn't sure. A friend of mine called Sean, he had a cycling club in Blackpool, so he helped put together a team of cyclists. And I'm waffling on now again.
A little bit.
And,
you'll get to me in a bit.
Yes. Because I just got back from Australia, I didn't actually know anybody. As far as cyclists go, as part
How
of
long have you been out in Australia?
I'd only been there a year, but I'd only started cycling just a few months before I emigrated, so I didn't really know anyone back in Blackpool that cycled apart from Sean. So when I got back, he helped recruit the cyclists. So I just used to go on Facebook and put an advert on saying training ride for coast to coast if anyone's interested. So just down the road from where I live, there's a bridge called Shard Bridge, and that was where I always used on the corner there of Shard Road, was where I just used to meet people at say 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And
It's all above the
It was just
Lycra.
I don't know if it was I think it was a Sunday morning, and it was various guys there that met up for the ride, and then Gabriella turned up with a couple of other cyclists, and you didn't actually know that it was the training ride, did you?
No, because I was on another bike ride with a different club. Yeah.
And then she just came along for the ride, really, just thinking it was just a social ride. And then she heard, she just heard that it was a training ride for coast to coast, and you said you'd always wanted to do the coast to coast.
Yeah, and I didn't know really what it was, because I'm one of those that go, yeah, I'll do that, and then don't even think about what it is.
And that was
so,
to be honest, we didn't really speak other than you asking me if you could do the coast to coast.
I said I didn't do Facebook, so I gave him my phone number and said, oh, you've got to phone me.
like old school time.
Yeah.
Old school. And basically that was, so I got in touch with her just to say that I'm out doing a training ride in a couple of days if you want to come. I was doing like an 80-mile ride. So she came along for the ride, and then
we met up.
Is cycling something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while, yeah. I'd always had a bike as a kid, but then when I was in Liverpool, I started getting into mountain biking. Yeah, so joined mountain bike clubs. Then when I went to Ormskirk, Bickerstaff, I saw these guys in Lycra speeding up and down, and I thought, that's the cycling I want to do, because mountain biking, I was like carrying my bike all the time.
Or was it just the guys in Lycra?
It was probably the guys in Lycra. So then I saw these guys, thought, I'm going to get a road bike, and then I joined a road biking club. So
Okay.
yeah, so
Ormskirk's where I live,
Yeah,
and you obviously
I
used to live there
yeah.
yourself. So small world, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was speaking to someone at work the other day that it's just started, and I think they live in Chorley or something now, but they grew up in Ormskirk, and I just find it like mad that usually when say you go abroad or something, you say where I live, they're kind of like, where's that? So I just
Yeah.
always say Liverpool because that's the
Yeah.
closest biggest place in that they'll have heard of. But yeah, obviously you used to live there as well, so you've heard of it.
Yeah. Only because of Gabriella.
So you now gone on this 80-mile bike ride?
Yeah, so we went on the 80-mile ride, and it turned into more like 90 odd because I had to. Well, for me, because I actually cycled to meet her in Lytham because she didn't actually know the way. You know, but it was a regular route that I used to do. So I went and picked her up from Lytham, and then I actually cycled you back to Lytham, didn't I?
Well, I wanted Chris to go back home, and I said, "Oh, I'm fine. I can cycle to my own home in Lytham," because I was starving, and I just wanted to go to Wetherspoons because I knew it was Wednesday, chicken night, and I'm thinking, right, I don't want him to know that I'm going for a pint of Stella and some chicken. So he said, "No, I'm coming with you," and I said, "Oh, right." I said, "I've got to go to Wetherspoons." And I think that's what he likes.
Yeah,
So I had a pint of Stella.
So for fitness,
The
fitness fanatics that we are, we arrived at Wetherspoons at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, and we
then
left.
We actually got told to leave at just after midnight.
It was closing.
Oh, gosh, you're there long.
I know, we haven't been apart since.
Yeah.
That's the story, yeah.
And literally, so not long,
That's it.
a couple of months later, it was the
Exactly.
coast to coast. So we did the event. It was successful. We raised plenty of money for the charity, which was a charity in Kenya, in Watamu in Kenya, which is it's a children's orphanage basically. That's the other reason I decided to do the event. It's because a friend of mine owns this orphanage in Kenya. She's always been asking me if I'll go out and do voluntary work. So like I said, I got back from Australia, so I thought, well, I might as well do something to raise money for this children's orphanage, and that was the thing. So Gabriella had to come along, and after the coast to coast, she came along, and we both went working in Kenya, and my son, who was I think 14 at the time. So it didn't actually work out to plan, did it?
Did he complete the rap?
No, I tried getting it. He's not really
cycling.
into sport, full stop.
He's
I've
nothing like you.
tried many a time to get him into, especially cycling, and no.
I just want to double check that that's actually still recording.
So don't mind doing it all again anyway. Complete repeat.
Right, I might have to cut that bit out, but it'll have picked it up on these cameras, so we can still use the audio, so it's fine.
Right.
Sorry about that. Right, yeah, I think it does look like it's still recording. I don't know why it stopped. But we're back. We're back on the road. We're back cycling this coast to coast bike ride. So go on. My apologies, Kai.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, like I said, I put the event together because I was going out to Kenya anyway, regardless, and I just thought, well, I need to raise some money for the orphanage. So that is the main reason I did the coast to coast. Really was a way of getting some funding together. And so we both went out to Kenya.
Watamu.
Yeah. We probably, because we put so much effort into it, the training and obviously doing the events and the fundraising, we were going no matter what. Even though at the time, even the embassy was saying
Advising not
to travel to Kenya, especially that region, because basically all tour operators had pulled out. Every tourist, every hotel was empty. Everything was like
closed.
Everywhere was shut down, really. But our airline that we booked with, it wasn't a British Airlines, so the flights were still running. So of course, like you do, we'll be fine, we'll go. So we did. So we went, and it was actually, I think they declared it a war zone.
Wow.
Because,
so we weren't there very long.
Is it near the cap, like Nairobi?
Yeah, it's Mombasa and it's the Somalians basically. That was the problem at the border there, and and
There's a lot going
people
on.
They were targeting tourists. There was some tourists there that were killed.
And you thought, this is a place that I want to go to. Let's
well, we knew from the minute we got there it wasn't. There was problems because we flew into Mombasa, didn't we?
Well, the first thing we did when we got there was go and buy some bikes, didn't we? We'll get some bikes. The only white people in the village.
But when you were going around a supermarket and they're actually, like, they've got security on with AK-47s.
Oh, wow.
And we had a bodyguard go with us, didn't we?
Yeah,
take us.
an escort.
Yeah.
So we only lasted just under a week, really, because it was getting...
Because they'd shut the airport down, hadn't they, where we were flying back from.
It was closed, and so there was
So we
only
thought
one
we'd get
small
out
airport
now.
left to get to. So we actually phoned the embassy, and we got through, and we got put through to the evacuation team.
Oh, wow.
'Cause, but I got his answer phone, so I left a long message, so blah de blah.
And we're still waiting for a reply.
So we got ourselves out of there, and from there we just went straight to Vietnam.
Yeah.
So you flew out, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So did you have to book a new flight, or were you able to?
Yeah, we just had to. Because we just started again, didn't we? We had to.
Yeah.
We just completely planned a whole new trip.
So that's when we
did
went.
Did that leave you out of pocket? Did it?
Yeah.
And then that's when we went to Vietnam, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And got the bug for that Southeast Asia, wasn't it? And then we came back, and that's when we thought, right, we're going to tour Southeast Asia.
Yeah, because you've done a couple of is it 5,000 kilometre rides before?
We did all Southeast Asia, didn't we? Thailand.
We
Cambodia.
We flew into, it was 2016. We flew into Bangkok. And then we did just a huge loop of Southeast Asia. So we went through Thailand down to the border of Cambodia, and then we went north following the Mekong River all the way up to the top of Cambodia, which was into Laos, across Laos, then across the whole top of northern Thailand, then then into Burma, and then we came south straight through Burma back into.
How long did that take you?
It actually only took us pedalling 7 weeks.
Wow.
We was actually out there for 3 months, but the actual cycling tour took us just under 2 months, really.
So I'm guessing you were able to get the time off work. Is it you had your own?
Well,
your own
again,
business?
look at what happened. Yeah, before I went to Australia, I had my own company, and since school, I've had more or less had my own company. And that was part of my reason to go to Australia, is because I just got sick of life in the rat race, really. So I sold my company, basically retired in a way, went to Australia, wasn't sure what to do there, so I just cycled for the year that I was there. So I've been all over Australia, came back, like I said, and then I was like, what do I do? Do I go back into business or something? And then obviously I got back into my cycling, and I've never stopped since.
Never worked since.
I've never worked since.
What was your business doing, if you don't mind me asking?
It was in construction, but it was more shop fitting. So I used to manufacture and fit out airports, hotels.
Oh wow!
Majority was in Europe. We used to do like a lot of hotels in London. I've done every airport in the UK. Worked in every airport, but most of my work was in Portugal, Copenhagen.
So your travelling goes.
Yeah, that was
quite
the
a way
thing.
back.
So my work always was travelling.
That's not a bad job to have.
Like in the early years, I had a business partner, so he was always office based, and I was always the one that was out on the road.
And what did you? If you worked?
I was in the entertainment business. I used to work on the cruise ships.
Oh really?
So before I met Chris, I was on the Royal Caribbean for about 4 years.
What were you doing?
In the theatre side, backstage, doing the costumes. So when the new cast came on, changeover, so I had to make sure they fit in their costumes. But before that, many years, I was a dancer when I left school. So I worked in shows, dancing, cruise ships,
Who's
pantomimes.
the most famous person you've met?
I'm going to say you've been this. Yeah, you were asked this not long ago.
Oh yeah. I've danced with Tony Christie, but you're probably too young. You won't remember him.
Amarillo.
I've done the Nolans. I've been danced with H from Steps.
Oh, I know H.
Claire Sweeney.
Oh, not a bad little list there.
Yeah, some people. I've done a few pantomimes and some are here at the Lowry.
I bet that was a great experience though, being on the cruise ships. Like, did you get to go?
Brilliant.
Did you get to, visit the ports and stuff?
Yeah,
when you
took my own bike. I had a Brompton, a little fold-up bike. So every time we were in port, I just get off and go and be a tourist, cycle round.
I'm guessing your work was mainly in the evening and at night.
Well,
wasn't it?
Yeah, I could work when I wanted, as long as the costumes were ready for the, the shows and for the production meetings and that.
That's not bad,
yeah,
is it?
I could work all through the night if I wanted to.
I suppose that led into having a fancy dress shop in Liverpool. Like.
Yeah, because I was a dancer at the beginning, and my mum used to manage the wardrobe at the Pleasure Beach. So as a kid, the house was always full of costumes. My two sisters danced, so there was costumes everywhere. So when I retired from dancing, that's kind of what I knew was costumes. Yeah,
they're all theatrical.
Yeah, so I opened a fancy dress shop.
Family,
yeah.
Even one of her sisters ran off with the circus.
Yeah. Ran off with a trapeze artist, yeah.
That's another story.
We won't get into that one today, I'm assuming. So where are we up to now? So we've done the...
So we've cycled
Southeast
Asia, yeah.
Was that your first big...
That was our first touring one, wasn't it? And that's when we kind of got hooked on touring, wasn't it?
Before we did the touring, we did a lot of like road racing, and like I said, we've done a few of the coast to coasts. We've organised a few of those events, which is like I said, it was the Wheelers for Watson coast to coast in a day, which was 150 mile. But then the year later, it was like everybody that did that one said, "Oh, we love that. What next?" So we did one called the Windmill 200 Challenge, which was basically coast to coast again, but the long way around. So we did 200 miles. And this time we did Blackpool to Whitby, but we did it I think 5-6 times that year, didn't we?
Wow.
But they were really successful. You know, we raised lots of money for charity, and then we did something called the Étapes de Tour, which is in France, which is it's a big event. There's about
every year they do it, don't
15,000 cyclists take part at all levels, but at quite high levels.
It's one of the stages of the Tour de France. So like the amateurs cycle the route the day before the Tour de France, come and cycle
so it's actually on while the Tour de France is on, yeah.
So
they're a couple of days behind.
Race, yeah.
Are you into all the kind of the professional? Do you watch the Tour de France and the Giro d'Italia and things like that?
We was into it, weren't we? Because like I said, that was every day we'd be doing more of the road cycling, and because we did the Étapes and then. Well, you can tell that story, can't you? The Étapes.
How we got to Mexico.
Yeah.
Well, we did. We did this race called the Étapes. So it's a professional race, and there's loads of mountain passes.
And the Tour de France, all the squad in the Tour de France, Team Sky said that one year when we did it,
hardest
it was that stage was the hardest stage that they'd ever done in the Tour de France. It was that.
Yeah.
You know, the climb in the mountains were just ridiculous, weren't they?
Yeah. So there was me and you, and then another 4 guys from our road club, and I was the one who got back first. You see, I call myself the winner,
the champion.
Yeah. So I was there waiting for all these to come back, like this. Right, where's Chris? The race is gonna finish.
It was only because
where are you?
You never heard the end of this, have you?
Yeah.
No, I've never heard the end of this. And it was you'd stop for you're supposed to stop for like refreshments and things like
only if you're tired.
Fuel stations,
you know.
and the problem is you can't stop for long because there's a sweeper truck behind. So if you do fall, there's
the bus of shame.
Yeah, that's it. If this vehicle catches up with you, you get put on the bus.
Oh wow.
So I thought, right, I'll just get something to eat. I'm well ahead of doing well here. So I was on my own as well because everybody gets broken up, and like I said, there's thousands of people. And I went to rest. I think it was like the halfway mark. Just thought I'd get something to eat quick, just bananas and stuff. And by the time I'd fought my way through the crowd, because you've still got your bike with you as well, there must have been at least 2,000 people, all bunched up around this food store. So it took me about half an hour to get back out with my bike. So obviously in the meantime, Gabriella's pedalling away, doesn't stop.
They were the non-athletes. I am an athlete, so I didn't need to stop. So I just got on my bike, and that was it. I didn't get off once. till the very end. Yeah. So then I've never let him live it down. So we were at this race, and I was going on about it, and this woman on this stall said, "Oh, why don't you go and do this race in Mexico, Gran Fondo?"
Well, it's actually called Gran Fondo, New York. It's a big, well-known, all cyclists will have heard.
Because it's a flat race, you see. It's just twice round the island, where the one in France is mountain climbing. So Chris knows that he's better on the flat.
Like you're like in a peloton. You might be, say, 150 of you all bunched up, and you're going twice around Cozumel, which is 100-mile, and it's a race basically, and but it's flat. And,
so we had to go there to prove a point.
So we went all the way to Mexico just so I could make sure I beat her, which I did.
You did, yeah.
Fine, 22
Only about,
minutes.
yeah, and you were shocked to see me come in. Yeah.
Are you sure you just didn't let him win?
No, I was constantly looking behind me, and then at one point I got a flat tire. So when you're in a peloton, it's a lot easier to maintain good speed. Basically, if you drop out of the peloton, you'll never catch them again. And I got a flat tire, so I watched the peloton go, and I was like, oh my god, please tell me she's not going to come past in this next one. So I'm trying to change my tire in time for this next group coming past, but again they were too quick, they went straight past. So there I am on my own, cycling along, and then eventually you start picking up all the other guys on the road that had dropped out as well, so you form your own peloton again. I'm just thinking, I'm sure I hadn't seen her. She can't have gone past her.
So we are competitive.
I got back, I crossed the finish line, I'm looking around and I can't see her, yes. And I must have spent 20 minutes walking around thinking, yeah, she's not here, not there, no. And then there she crosses the finish line. It was
Thank God for that.
then I think, God, only 20 minutes. I was hoping she was going to be like another hour.
That's a nice thing to say, isn't it? See, I always think when I watch it on television, like I don't think I could cycle in a peloton. I'd almost certainly crash into someone.
Yeah, it does happen.
Yeah, it is a bit scary.
Or even clipping pedals or something like that.
As soon as we set off, there was, because at the start there was, I think there was 5,000, but they set it off in bunches of, say, 200 at a time. So instantly you're in a peloton of 200. And within the first 10 minutes,
there was
I think 20
crash.
dropped off. One guy went down and he took out probably 20. And and then it happened 2 or 3 times. So sometimes it just can be real, bad luck.
Yeah.
You just get taken out. So it's trying to pick where's the safest place, and is there a safe place?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's kind of a bit of potluck.
Yeah, it is really. Yeah.
Situation.
Yeah. But no.
So what happened after that? Was that onto your planning for your big world tour then? Or?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
We sort of.
It was Christmas, wasn't it? Then we went to Scotland, didn't we?
We had enough, didn't we, doing the typical club rides and like sporty sort of rides and things, and we because it was always like a loop. We wanted to get into the cycling where.
Because we came back from Thailand, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we were doing this race again the following year, and we were going to go over in the prison van to do this race. But then we thought, because we'd been to Thailand, we thought, well, that's lazy, and that's boring getting in the van. We'll cycle to the race, didn't we?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we cycled from home to France, but then the weather was really bad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We were camping. And then we thought, we won't do the race, we'll go where the sun is. And then we decided to cycle all the coast of Spain, didn't we?
Yeah, so we just carried on through France, through Paris, and
down to Perpignan, wasn't
which is
it?
like the old border between France and Spain, and then we just clung to the coast of Spain all the way up to Malaga.
Malaga, yeah.
But that was after we got back from Southeast Asia. So we properly touring, like we'd cycled. Our first tour really was just one Christmas, wasn't it? Was that? Oh no, that was that.
Yeah.
When did we do the tour?
Yeah, before we went to Thailand.
Yeah, and we just cycled. It was that really cold Christmas we had about 3 Christmases ago, and we cycled from Blackpool to
Helensburgh. Yeah.
Up to Helensburgh.
Again, a friend said, "Oh, come up for the New Year," and we were like, "Yeah, we'll go in the car." And then 2 days before, oh, let's go on our bikes.
I just love
in
that.
our ski suits and.
I love the mindset.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to drive. I'm
Yeah,
just going to cycle.
just
No
go on
matter
my
how
bike,
far the distance,
yeah.
we'll just cycle there.
Yeah, we'd had a hectic
We never think
Christmas.
about it. We just go, yeah, we'll do that. Why not?
And we thought that's enough partying now. Let's just cycle to Scotland, and that's it. So. But that was like we had planned to go to Thailand, hadn't we, at that point?
Well, we booked it Christmas Day, hadn't we?
Yeah.
When we were in Scotland.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. We thought, right, we'll go and do a proper tour, and on Christmas Day again, we go, oh, right, let's do it. And we booked it, didn't we?
So this was about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
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 It was, yeah.
Our first, the Southeast Asia tour was we went on the 1st of March 2016. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
16. Yeah.
So no, I thought it was a lot longer ago than that.
No, touring. No, like so we're new to touring, but like I said, we did Southeast Asia, then got back, and then decided to do the Blackpool to Spain, and but we was supposed to go this year, wasn't we? Not this year. Sorry, last year we'd booked
it.
Again. We were going to cycle from Bangkok again to not Bangkok, Vietnam, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To originally it was going to be across the Himalaya and heading for India. So we were just going to do, I don't know, we were planning about a 6-month tour, weren't we?
Amazing. So the preparation involved in that must be huge. I'll just talk a little bit about the preparation, like
I'll let
crossing
you
borders.
Our preparation.
Yeah, because there's a lot that goes into
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
isn't there? Like, you've not just got sort of planning where your routes are, but I'm assuming you've got to be mindful of where you're going to stop, your visas.
Yeah, the visas. Yeah, it's always
safety.
the visas are more the difficult thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
But for Thailand, it was fine, wasn't it? Southeast Asia, we got all the visas before. But for this world tour, it's been a bit difficult, hasn't it? Planning it for the visas.
What was your starting point? Like, what was like the first thing you decided you wanted to do this world tour
For this world tour, just literally, first thing we did, we bought a huge map, which we've got in the van, so the world map, just because my geography's not that great, so it's like I need to
We
see
needed
what
to see
order
it.
all the countries are in, and sort of then you can see the terrain on the map. And so yeah, it's as simple as that, just got the map and sort of just draw a line.
And then
of all.
interesting places we wanted to go, so we made.
And then
So we were
and
going
obviously
through
then
them.
you need to start working out the mileage and where the borders are. So I just use something called Strava. So it's a bit like Google Maps, but it's more it's more for cyclists really. So you just start clicking literally on your approximate route. You can either click A to B and it'll map a route for you, but we're a bit more specific. We don't actually follow the route that we do. Funny enough, it's just a bit of a rough guidance.
Because I saw on the video you go in, like, you kind of go sort of Eastern Europe and come back to Italy.
Yeah.
And then you head back east again.
We wanted to do as many European countries, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we were zigzagging
yeah,
across.
Europe's a funny one
yeah.
because like some people have already asked that. Why don't you just do a straightish line through Europe? But one of the reasons for that is because we're meeting various people as we travel around Europe, so we are actually going back on ourselves sometimes to meet up with people.
What made you want to do it in the fit? Like, I know obviously you enjoy both cycling and travel, but it's a big 5,000 kilometres around Southeast Asia is one thing, but you know, a 5-year, 100,000 kilometre journey is a massive.
I try not to think about it.
It's just
I just think I'm going on a bike ride.
It's just what that's what we'd normally be doing anyway, cycling. So, and in the past, whatever type of cycling we've done, it's always been cut short for whatever reason, and there's no reason now to
Just keep going.
there's no reason not to keep going. So it's like, why come back? So because we just come back then to just maybe get on a plane and fly somewhere else and cycle around that country. So
So you may as well do the nomad lifestyle and just keep it.
we wasn't going to do the full world tour. We was just going to fly out and do a tour from, like I say, originally it was going to be last year. It was going to be from Vietnam to India, and then maybe we'd have extended it from there. But that was just the initial plan, and then we. I don't know. That's probably one of your next questions. I know.
It is, yeah. I was waiting. Are you going to say it or am I? Yeah. So then you, well, I don't know whether you'd say ran into a bit of a roadblock. Is that putting it a bit too crassly, or would you?
Just a bit of a A glitch.
A glitch, a little glitch, yeah.
So is this March 2017?
Yeah, it was last February, wasn't it, last
feels
year?
like
Yeah.
it's been forever, but
So I was diagnosed with cancer. February, wasn't it, last year? And we'd planned to go away on the 1st of March to do this other cycling tour. So obviously then we had to cancel it. So then I had my surgery, and so I thought, oh, that's it. We planned to then go on the 1st of May. Thought, give myself 6 weeks recovery, and then we'll go back and do the tour. And said to Prevent Breast Cancer, who we're cycling for, oh, we've got a cycle for you to raise some money. And they said, oh, great. And then I got my results back from my surgery, and they said, no, sorry, you need chemotherapy. So that was it. We had to put everything on hold then. And then we just decided, was it when we went to Spain in January this year, that we're going to cycle the world.
Yeah, because I think you missed a bit out because we were going on the 1st. We'd booked to go to Vietnam, and we were going to Vietnam 1st of March, and we were just going to cycle around Southeast Asia again. But then you were diagnosed with breast cancer. Well, it wasn't actually breast cancer initially. It was like a pre-cancer, wasn't it? And so, I'll try not to waffle so much, but what happened was in the December, Gabriella's got a history of cancer in her family. So in the December, she went to St Mary's Hospital, where it's the genetic family history clinic, to talk about prevention, ways of preventing getting breast cancer. And so we went there, didn't we, and had a chat with them. And then so basically in the February, she went for a first mammogram because
because it was high risk,
and also because we thought, well, we're going to be going away cycling 1st of March, so let's just obviously go and get checked, and we thought it was all going to be plain sailing, and she was called back about a week later. They'd seen something on the mammogram, but they said it's perfectly normal to be called back because they just need something to compare the scans to. So we went back. But they wanted us back the next day, didn't they? Yeah. And then all the fun and games started. They were doing this test, that test, and then we had to wait a week for results. And then the results came, and it wasn't good news. So she was basically then booked in for a double mastectomy, and then you had to wait for 2 weeks for the results from that. And you were a bit oblivious to it all, weren't you?
I was ready to get on my bike and go again.
So I'll have this surgery on the 27th of March, and by 1st of May I'll be fine, I'll have recovered. And I kept saying all along, you just need to wait till you've got your results. I'm sure it'll all be fine, but let's not go booking more flights. And so the results came, and then I always remember them saying, oh, we never expected this, but it was worse than what the
what you initially thought.
Yeah. So then the outcome of that was she had to have the chemotherapy.
Going, am I going to lose my hair? Because I had hair down here.
So it was chemotherapy and then further treatment. She had to have more surgery where she had to have a lymph nodes removed from under one of her arms. But then this course because of the type of cancer, which is an aggressive cancer, they call it HER2 positive cancer. She has to have a special drug called Herceptin, and she's still receiving that now every 3 weeks, aren't you?
3 more left.
Until June. So that was sort of the setback.
Well, did you keep positive throughout the whole thing? Because it sounds you sound like quite an upbeat person. So we did it together, didn't we?
Yeah.
Chris kept me motivated, and just keep going. I kept active, kept cycling, but not that much. And then Chris made me do landscape gardening. How many? How much grass was it?
The consultant said on chemotherapy, try to be active. I know everybody's different, but because if you don't do anything, you just get more and more tired, which doesn't help.
And I'm not one for sitting around.
And then you can go into depression.
Go crazy.
Everything else. So I thought I'll take this opportunity to landscape the back garden. So, while she was on chemo, you laid 250 square metres of grass, of turf, literally on her own.
Is this in your back garden?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah. I just prepared all the backs. I had a little.
Well, we actually had a nice back garden. It was like an orchard, is that what you call it? With apple trees and everything. And then one day I came out and Chris was there on this digger, and everything had gone. He'd just gone in with his digger and smashed everything up. I think it was maybe frustration of what was going on. His therapy was
to just do a bit of
Yeah.
groundwork.
There was a big hole in the garden. Yeah.
My mate lives across the road, and he said, "If you want to borrow me JCB, feel free." And I said, "Okay." So
It was like whatever he could see, he'd just dig up
Yeah.
and smash down.
So I flattened it all completely, because there was a method to my madness. Because I was thinking ahead. I wanted to park our motorhome somewhere, and the previous garden we had, you just couldn't use it for anything, could you? So I thought, right, I'm just going to flatten it all and dig a big space out somewhere I can park the van. So that's why we did it, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But you turfed it, and then I got 40 tonne of gravel delivered. So you can imagine a big pile of gravel, 40 tonne. I think it was 5-6 skips worth of gravel. So they tipped it all out, and I was there in the digger, scooping it up, tipping it into a wheelbarrow, while Gabriella then ran all around the garden, tipping this 40 tonne of gravel.
Yeah,
There's actually pictures on our website of you doing
of
that.
it, yeah.
Well, like my mum, she passed away a couple of years ago from breast cancer, but when she was in hospital and when she was ill with it, I always tried to be kind of like positive with her and sort of keep fighting and keep your chin up kind of thing, because I think that's a massive part of it. Like, you've obviously kept active and kept your mind busy and things, but I think, like you said, if you just sit around and do nothing, I think that'll do more harm than good in the long run.
Absolutely.
So I think to keep positive and to have obviously
Keep
the mindset
going,
you guys have pretty admirable, and is obviously I mean I'm guessing it's helped you to overcome it in the long run.
It's keeping your mind active, isn't
Yeah.
it?
You're not thinking about it all the time, just sat dwelling on
have
it.
a purpose as well, something to do every day.
Yeah.
Because it just makes it a lot easier, doesn't it?
Because like a couple of days after she died, me and my girlfriend had booked to go to Belfast for like a weekend break. It was her birthday present that I got her for a birthday, and I just thought I could sit around my house and mope all the time, or I could just get out there and sort of live for my mum in a way.
Yeah.
And I think
she'd want that anyway.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's much better to kind of crack on with things and keep living life the way that you feel like you should, as opposed to just kind of moping around. And I think that's the kind of path you guys have taken, and obviously now you're about to do something
and I think
incredible.
And what had happened over that period of time, like going back 2 years, just over 2 years ago. Well, I got back from Australia, started, finding these cyclists to do the coast to coast with us, which was, like I say, it was called Wheelers for Watermoo. Because my friend Sean, a fantastic cyclist, super fit, and it was early days. We were just, like I say, recruiting these cyclists, and Sean used to cycle miles and miles every day. He'd be cycling 500-600 miles a week, all weather. Sean would be out, and it was just me and him. We'd go out regular, and one particular day he just wasn't feeling so good, and he says, I think I might have overtrained a bit. So he went home, and I just sent him a text message that said, I hope you're feeling okay. You up for that ride in the morning? And he just said, I'm in A&E, mate, in the hospital. I've got suspected kidney stones. All right, okay. So again, following day, I said, are you feeling any better? And he said, oh no, they think they've found tumours in my stomach. So, but basically, he was about 8 weeks later. He was diagnosed with cancer, wasn't he? And he fought it for what, two years. Kept cycling, but I think it was about almost 12 months ago he passed away, didn't he?
Yeah.
Not more. It's just over 12 months ago actually. Yeah, and that was Sean that was stomach cancer, but it ended up spreading everywhere, to be honest. And then our friend, just before Gabriella was diagnosed, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. and super fit lady, diagnosed, but she went poorly really quickly,
Really
didn't
quick,
she?
yeah.
And they were both going through chemotherapy at the same time, because they used to have a nickname. You called yourselves the chemo twins, didn't
Yeah,
you? The chemo
both
sisters.
had bald heads, and
And that was Pat's, and she used to cycle with us. We'd, even when
she was
while
really
was,
outdoory, wasn't she?
really poorly she was, but she was still out up in the Lake District cycling, wasn't she? And but she passed away August last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been an eventful.
Last year was really weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw
Really
you
strange.
gave Gabs a few different haircuts.
Yeah. So with that, I was like, right, if I'm gonna lose my hair, I'm gonna enjoy losing my hair. So I cut it into a bob, and I had it cut dead short. And then Chris, you just shaved it.
Yeah,
And then I said to him, I'll do whatever you want. Then I had a Mohican, and then the next time I had all lines. And
Well, my favourite
so
one
we
was
had
the
a
one
bit
that
of
looked
fun.
like bikes.
Oh yeah, the bike.
boats
Yeah,
on
that
it.
just kept adding to that. Yeah, it just started as a tram line, and then it was. I thought I'll put some spokes in there.
You could have almost done the map of your world
Yeah.
tour on it.
Well, just recently, because her hair's been growing back. She did look like, I say look like Ken Dodd, the way it was growing back. But she asked me to shave it off, didn't it? So
Yeah, it
That's
just
why
looked really
it's,
strange, like a clown.
a few times she's asked me to.
So I just sat
"What
down
do you
and
think?
said,
Do
do
wanna
whatever
cut
you
my hair?"
want.
So I was, I'll cut
Do
it,
what
because
you want.
the other day we was being interviewed by the newspaper in Marbella, weren't we? And they asked the question, are we going to see a wedding on this tour, on this world tour? And I said, well, yeah, absolutely. And then, when's that going to be? I said, well, I've said to Gabriella, when her hair's touching her shoulders, down to her shoulders, then we'll get married. And he's, but the thing is, she keeps asking me to cut her hair, so I quite happily keep shaving her. I don't know when that's going to be.
Is that a hint or?
Yeah. He said there's a method to your madness.
Well, he said, how do you, yeah.
So you're engaged, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was another story that
That was
hit the headlines.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the end of the tour. That's how we finished Southeast Asia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what happened? Like, how did that?
He made me canoe over to, was it Bamboo Island in a storm
That's just off
to
Peak
prove that I was, worthy.
Island. 5 miles she had to paddle from Phi Island, South Thailand, to Bamboo.
Yeah. And the people at the where we got the canoe from, they're going, you're going over there, there's a storm. And he's like, yeah, I'm going. So as we're rowing over, and I'm just oblivious to what's happening behind me with the clouds and everything. And he's going, I think you need to put a bit more effort into this.
Yeah, she kept stopping,
Yeah,
paddling
looking around.
and looking.
Yeah.
The swell was getting really big, and there was big black cloud. There was a storm coming, because when we finished, we was coming into the monsoon season,
Yeah.
weren't we? And I thought, if we get thrown out of these boats, we're going to miss the island anyway, because we were still a good mile off it, weren't
Yeah.
we? So you couldn't turn around and go back 4 miles, so we just had to get to shore.
And then you said, don't put the boat or something on the wave.
Yeah,
We'll be thrown out. And the next minute, the boat hit this wave, and that was it. We were thrown out, weren't we?
hit by the boat as we landed.
Hit by the boat, tossed onto the shore. And then there's like is it the sea gypsies you call
Yeah,
them, that
sea
just
gypsies.
live in the shacks, and they've got the fishing boats, and they just saw these two people just come flying onto the
And wondered
shore,
where they
and they
come
were like,
from, because
where
no one
where
would
have they
actually
come
normally
from?
paddle across from Phi, because you're not even mainland. You've got the island of Phi Island, and then we were there on the
They were
tiny
washing the
little-
clothes, weren't they, in the bucket? So
Yeah.
and we just come flying in.
So this proposal's going well. So
Yeah.
Well, actually, I've made her do it twice, because the first time we finished the cycling tour, got back to Bangkok, and then decided let's get an internal flight and go to Phi Island and just chill out for a week or so. So we went there, didn't we? And I had planned to propose to her, but I didn't want to just do it on Phi Island. And then when I heard about Bamboo Island, and there's another island there called Mosquito Island, so I thought, we'll get a little boat. And so we paddled across. We did it the first time, but the weather was actually quite nice then, and
And he chickened out.
no problems. We got on the island, and and I lost my nerve. I thought, well, I can do it. I'll do it somewhere else. There's no rush. And I so we came back to Bangkok, and then we were in a taxi, weren't we, going back to the airport? And I was actually regretting, losing my nerve. And so we got to the airport, got dropped off, and we literally watched our flight go, didn't we? And so we just...
Because he said, should we stay or should we go? And we were both, look, should we stay or should we go? And by the time we decided, the flight had gone anyway.
Yeah. So back we went, back to
with
the
our
hotel
bikes
in
and
Bangkok,
boxes.
and then jumped on the plane again and flew back to PP. And again, all along, Gabriella she's got no idea that I'm going to propose to her. And I'm thinking, oh, this time I've got to do it. I've got to do it. And so I'm going at the worst time. The monsoon's just started. I'm thinking, look, I've got to go to Bamboo Island and do it. Because I had it all planned in my head how I'd do it. I just probably waited 2 weeks too late, with the weather. And so we just borrowed the boats again and off we went.
And do you put all shells in the sand saying, marry me?
How did you, was that like previously set up, or did you have to just quickly run off?
Well, I said to Gabriella, let's just lie down here and just,
I was messing around in the water.
Yeah, and she was just messing around. I said, I'm just going to, because I like to mess around doing stuff anyway, creating stupid patterns in the sand. I said, I'm just going to go for a wander
Building
up
fires.
there. I said, you'll find us, stay there. So I picked up loads of bits of shells and dead coral and stuff, and so I start spelling out, basically marry me, and then the next one, these Japanese and Chinese tourists came walking along, and they were really interested in what I'm doing and taking pictures, and they won't understand what I'm doing. And I'd done the marry. I was just doing the M for me, and they're going marry, and they're speaking really loud. I'm like, marry me. I'm like, just be quiet. And then you're like walking over, and I'm like, go away. And basically that was it, wasn't it? He came over and I said, oh, what do you think to this? And then the pictures again, they're on the website, and it says it all, doesn't it?
How you do burst into tears.
But then straight after that I'm thinking, right, but we've got to
Get
canoe
back.
back all the way back to PP Island and look at the weather.
That's the ultimate test, though, because you've battled through a storm. You've obviously got there and got back okay, so it's clearly meant to be.
Yeah, and we'd just previously been living, the two of us, in a two-man tent all over Southeast Asia in ridiculous
Remote
temperatures.
places, yeah.
And if you can cope with each other in such extremes, you should be able to manage it.
Yeah.
And that
Back in
was
Europe.
and that was it, wasn't it? So, and then we luckily the sea gypsies were there, just getting the boat ready to go out and do the fishing, and we managed to throw our canoe
In sign language.
Yeah, in their fishing
over
boats.
there.
And,
There, and he's looking like, where are you going? What island?
yeah.
We want to go over there.
They took us to where they thought we meant, but they
Yeah.
were still about 2 miles short, and they were. Yeah, I think they just thought we were crazy.
Yeah.
Because we'd clearly come from.
Long way.
So when was that? Was that about a couple of years ago?
That would be 2.
16,
What we met, it's 2 years ago
2016,
now. Yeah, because we came back on the, I think it was the 20th of May. What are we on now? Yeah, so it's nearly 2 years. It's actually probably 2 years to the day when I proposed to you.
Oh.
There you
Yeah.
go. What a way to celebrate that anniversary by being on this.
It was around about now. Yeah.
So have you finished your treatment now?
No, I've got another 3 more. Got one tomorrow, and then they're every 3 weeks.
No, that's at the Christie.
Yeah,
Christie, yeah.
Christie's, yeah. So 25th of June's my last one.
So you finish your chemotherapy though, but you're on.
Yeah, I finished
this is
my
like
chemo,
medication,
yeah.
is it?
Yeah, it's an Herceptin injection that I have every 3 weeks.
So how
Yeah.
long is it in between when you've officially finished your treatment and you set off for?
I think about 10 days.
Yeah, she finishes
Yeah.
on the 25th, and we go on the.
He can't wait any longer. He's like
9th
being
of July. So actually, we sort of, that's our official start, because we
It's
start from the
July the 9th.
Nightingale Centre, which is
Yeah.
where Prevent Breast Cancer Charity is. But when we get back to the UK, So you finish your treatment on the 25th, don't you? But on the 30th of June, our bikes will all be kitted up, and then we cycle up to the Lake District just to check everything's working, and then
we've got a new tent, so I want to test it out.
Yeah, ride around Coniston, and then we head back down to Manchester.
I just can't get over that. 10 days, you'll have finished your treatment for breast cancer, having been all all that you've been through in the last year.
That's why we've been out in Spain, isn't it? So I can do a bit of training, because the weather's obviously better out there. So we've been doing a lot of running, swimming, and cycling to get my fitness.
Okay?
Yeah. At the beginning, I wasn't anywhere near how I used to be.
When you think she could cycle 200 miles in a day, or
only do a mile,
she just about managed a mile. Yeah.
Are you sort of almost there with regards to
250 now miles a day?
No, it'll be fine. Yeah.
I've never heard anything like that before, because you hear people's sort of cancer stories or journeys, as you guys like to call it, and people want to take as much time as possible to kind of nurse themselves back to fitness, but you've just thrown yourself into the deep end by the sounds.
That was the worst thing, wasn't it, with the cancer? When the chemo was like, you have to stay.
Yeah, because you have
to stay at home in one place.
Like Gabriella, she was never ill. She never had any lumps or anything. She was diagnosed. She just went for that.
Was fit and healthy. Yeah.
But in a way, it's like that you've been made ill. To cure you. With the surgery and then the chemo. All the other, the chemo and other treatments, and so then you're fighting to get your strength back, when really there was, I know there was something wrong. There would have been in time, but it was it was just strange, wasn't it? Yeah. Frustrating, really.
Because we'd had so many trips planned, hadn't we?
Yeah, we cancelled a lot of trips, but it's like hey ho, and it's been worth it, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. In the end, you've got to take a hit in the short term, but if it's the best for your long-term health, that's obviously the main concern.
Because if we'd gone on the 1st of March and I hadn't gone to the clinic, we'd still be away now cycling, and then I'd get symptoms and I would have been ill, wouldn't I? Yeah. So happened for a reason. Yeah.
And good's come out of it, because it's resulted in we're going to do a world cycling tour. So
was that decided mid sort of treatment that's what you were going to do?
Well, it wasn't.
Yeah, because we wanted to cycle for Prevent Breast Cancer last year, didn't we?
Yeah, from when she was diagnosed, when she initially had the idea that she'll just have a double mastectomy, and then 1st of May we're going to get back on the road and pick up from where we left off. We'd said to Prevent Breast Cancer, hadn't we, that we're going to fundraise for you. But like I said, at the time we was only going to cycle Vietnam to India, weren't we? But then I thought, well, why don't we do it
properly,
big time, and because we've always talked about doing a world tour, and and it made us do it more now because of the fundraising side to it as well.
So you're going from here, Manchester, down to, is it Dover?
Dover, yeah.
Getting the ferry over to France.
Yeah.
And then from there, across Europe?
Yeah, all the way across.
Yeah.
And then, how are you getting, because I've seen you going to sort of South America, you go to Antarctica.
Yeah, that's all about.
How did you get across the oceans? Is it going to be via ferry or flying?
There's no planes. I don't want to use, because we're attempting a what do you call it?
A world record.
World record. Guinness. Is it Guinness?
Guinness World.
Yeah.
We've applied for that, and we're just waiting to hear.
We should hear in a few weeks.
Because apparently nobody's cycled the 7 continents in one. Like, some people will go touring. They'll cycle so many thousand miles around various parts of the world. Then they'll come back, and then they'll go maybe the year later and pick up where they left off. We're doing it continuous cycling. No aeroplanes, so no coming back. Once it sets off, I'm not coming back.
Because that's cheating. Yeah. Come back.
and that's
you can't come back for home comforts. Come back for my Sunday dinner.
It's in some cases it's ferries. In some cases it will be like cargo ships.
We've been looking into that.
So like merchant navy vessels. it'll take longer, but and it's not any cheaper either. If anything, it'll cost more than a flight. But I just don't want to. I just want to keep it all as sort of land, ocean based.
That's pretty cool.
And we can turn that into something else as well. You say, I'm sure if we're on a 2-week or 2-month crossing on a container ship, we'll be doing other types of
help out in the kitchen,
fundraising.
Is that how long it's going to take? Like some of the crossings, I thought they'd be like days, weeks and months. That's
because when you think we've got, so we cycle through Europe, and then we're going through. Where do we head after that? So we leave Bulgaria into Turkey. Then it's across Turkey into all the stans like Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, all them. I can't pronounce half of them.
Kyrgyzstan,
Tajikistan,
Turkmenistan,
China, Mongolia, back into China, and then we are planning North Korea. I know at the moment you can't enter North Korea, but that is the plan. I know everyone keeps saying to us, you can't get into North Korea, but
I think
we
you have
won't
to
be
be
there
with
for a few years.
special guides.
Yeah.
I don't think you're allowed to just do it on your own.
See, one of the things we're doing, the reason we're zigzagging through Europe is because we're involved. We're having discussions with they're called Europa Donna, which is the cancer coalition. They're all over Europe and they're in other parts of the world as well. So they're like cancer societies. You know more about it than me, don't you? Because you're in discussions with them.
Yeah, we're just going to meet each one for awareness in each country.
Because
we're just going to meet everybody.
They contacted us because of there's a big thing at the moment about keeping active while you're on chemotherapy, and obviously because Gabriella's done that, and because of what the journey ahead of us, they want us to do some talks in various countries because there's a lot of countries where the women are quite scared to go and get checked for breast cancer. So
you'll be the poster.
Yeah.
The poster wall.
Yeah. So like we're actually supposed to be in the Ukraine in
February.
In February, isn't it? Which is probably the worst time to go to the Ukraine. So we'll have
thick snow.
Yeah.
Well, how are you going to sort of navigate the conditions? Because presumably Antarctica's not got tarmacked roads, and like you say, in the Ukraine, you're probably going to face adverse conditions. So how do you plan on dealing with that?
Will be probably lots of walking as well with your bike. We will have some snow chains on the bike. You can even have it's like a special tyre for in snow conditions, but they're not actually that great. So it's just again, we don't really plan too deeply like that. It's just a case
we've got like all the right clothing, but you never know what's going to happen. So when you're faced with it, you just
you can only plan so far, and so we've got all the right equipment with us. Because some people think, why are you taking that much stuff? But because we're on the road for so long, and we're obviously going in all different climates through each country, we can't just pick the nice times of year to go through each country. So you're literally carrying everything. We've got.
You're on bikes, and bikes aren't the biggest things in the world. So how are you managing to carry essentially everything you'll need? Possibly including the kitchen sink with you.
I have got a kitchen sink as well.
I've
just bought a washing up bowl, that folds down. It's brilliant. And I've got a little chair that folds down into like a cup, and I've got a table that collapses down. So more or less I've got the kitchen
everyone
sink.
always travels on the bikes with panniers. You've got all your bags front and back of your bikes, and you name it, you put a bag wherever you can fit a bag, don't you? But we've also got, again, some people choose to use a trailer, so we've got these trailers. They're actually called bob trailers.
We only got them yesterday.
Yeah, in
first
Spain.
time on it.
So they're like a single wheeled trailer, but you can again put a lot of kit on there as well, because some people choose to travel as light as possible, but we just don't.
I like to take everything and prove people wrong that you can take everything.
We've got to carry quite a lot of stuff because of what we're doing as well. For publicity, we're carrying, we've even got things like banners. We've got various flags of each country we're in, obviously down to electrical equipment for being able to record things.
Well, how are you going to plan all that, do you think? Because obviously I'm guessing I know there's electricity everywhere in the world, but you're going to take like solar panels on and have them on your bike.
Both got solar panels.
Yeah, we've both got solar panels. We have a lot of the battery packs, which obviously you can charge them up if you cafes, restaurants, bars, or.
And then you're just looking into, is it the dynamo?
Yeah, we're having they're like a dynamo hub installed on the bike, so that as you're pedaling, you're generating power to charge a separate battery, which, if you think it'll charge a phone over the course of a day of cycling, possibly. Even if it just half charges your phone, it's still so when you are off grid, you can.
Well, you're harnessing your own power
that's
for something more than just transportation.
Yeah, it also powers your lights.
Your lights.
So if you're completely out of battery charge, at least you are generating your own power, because we are, there's times where even your solar panels aren't going to work because we'll be pedaling through countries in the middle of their winter.
Accommodation wise, how are you dealing with that?
Tent. We've got a tent, haven't we?
Yeah.
So wherever we can, we use that. And then there's something called warm showers, which are people like us, other travellers, and they like hosts. So if you get to a certain country, you can get in touch and say, can we put our tent in your garden? Yeah, or they might let you use the shower, or
it's because it's like-minded people.
Yeah, other travellers. Yeah.
So the idea of using this network called Warm Showers is you become a host. So you offer your home. It can be from your back garden, or just you can use our shower. Whatever you want, really. And
we wouldn't be good hosts because we're not there.
Maybe you'd be even better host because you're not there. They'd have the whole house to themselves.
Yeah, we always ask that question, why don't we do some hosting ourselves before we set off on our tour? And it's like, you're welcome, but we're parked up on the beach in Spain.
Oh yeah, because you have a converted
prison bus, a prison van, yeah.
Just another string to your bow, so to speak. Or
when we got it, it had all the cells in it, didn't it?
6 cells in it. It's the big prison van that you see, when you take people to courts. So it's like a wagon, really, with all the little tiny windows in it.
I'm guessing you've completely
converted it. Yeah,
it's now a nice motorhome. Yeah.
We went to France when we first got it. You just stripped it out, didn't you? And we went to France in it, cycling the mountains, and there was absolutely nothing in it, was there?
No,
there was just a barbecue and some camping chairs.
And a mattress.
Yeah, and a mattress. But that was good.
I've got a few friends that want to do that when they're like 40, is have like the sort of motorhome and just take it around Europe. So you guys are already living that dream.
Ideal, And we lived in it as an empty box for a year, because we went to, like you said, we went to France when we did the Etappes the first time. And yes, we lived in it. Well, we travelled around Spain for 7 weeks. Not Spain, sorry, France. And then we lived in it back in Thistleton in Blackpool. Well, because we were renovating the house. It took, I don't know, about 7 months, didn't it, to do the house up. So in the meantime, we just lived
in the van.
That's pretty handy. But you just keep it down in Spain now, do you?
Yeah, we just, because that's our permanent home.
We've been in Spain since November, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I asked a consultant, because I have to have these injections every 3 weeks, but I'd finished my chemo. We said, please, can I go somewhere? Can I go travel? So we thought Spain, because we'd been before. It's easy to get to, cheap flights.
Well,
was.
So I left it to Gabriella, because I said, what do you think then if we just, rather than hang around here to do training, go to Spain? And because we'd cycled it the year previous, we knew all the coastal areas. We thought it would be quite easy to go in the van. In the van?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm losing my thought there. I think in the van.
In the van.
No, what it was, so it was about the flying back every 3 weeks. Yeah. Because I thought that was going to be costly, so we looked into it, and it, like Ryanair, all them, they were like 20-30 quid return flights. And I think we got the first 2 flights, didn't we?
Yeah.
And after that, they went
100.
They just rocketed. I don't know why, but we never got picked up a cheap flight again, did we? But we were there then. But we live practically for free, don't we, in Spain?
Yeah. We just wild camp everywhere. We don't go on campsites or
So
anything.
I was texting you a couple of weeks ago, like, I'll have a, enjoy the rest of your bank holiday or whatever. And you
Oh,
were like,
yeah,
oh yeah, it's
you
bank
said-
holiday in the UK, isn't
Yeah.
it? And I was thinking, to be in Spain now, enjoying the sun.
Yeah, you lose track of what day it is, but they their holidays are very frequent, aren't
Yeah,
they, in Spain?
they have a lot of holidays.
They have their what do you call it?
Fiestas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and siestas.
Fiestas and
Siestas,
siestas, yeah.
We get them mixed up here, but yeah.
Sorry, just drinking there. So things like toiletries, I'm assuming you'll buy on the way. Food, all that, you won't need to take much with
Toiletries,
you.
we don't use them.
Because the
We
food's the
don't do
really
it.
interesting part for me, from like a
Food.
fitness and nutrition background. The
Oh,
world
yeah.
tour, 5 years round, like food, how's that work?
But it's like the last tour we did, well, the Southeast Asia tour, because we were in part. I always try and pick the most remotest parts, like Cambodia. I try and avoid where the tourists go, so that's why we decided to follow
The Mekong.
the river, and you were just going through all the old, like, off the beaten track villages, weren't there? Well, there was nothing there really. It was just dust tracks, and that was the thing there. We thought we were going to get food, and you did struggle at times, didn't
Yeah, there was always somebody on the side of the road
you?
selling from
Grilled
there.
rats or
How?
snake,
Yeah.
you name it. Yeah, so the food
And
wasn't.
fruit. You could get fruit.
But you'd always get food, yeah. But one thing you could always get, you might not find the food that you like, but you would always be able to find beer. Wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
little cans of beer.
You could be in the most remotest of places, and there'll be a little wooden shack there with all the family sat outside, and they'll have just this big cool box, and it's just got a big block of ice in it,
Yeah.
full of cans of beer.
Remind you of the Weatherspoons when you first met.
Yeah. Because they have like an iceman, don't they, that comes
Yeah.
round on this with a big trailer, isn't it, with a big block
Yeah.
of ice to everyone, and he gets his shetty out and cuts big
Yeah.
blocks of ice off because they don't have fridges or anything.
I don't know where,
And they
where this ice comes
I
from.
don't know where it comes from because
it's-
they're in the middle of nowhere,
It's
aren't
40
they?
odd degrees, and
So that's what they
like Gabriella said, he'll pull up on
Takes
either
a sheet
it's either
off, doesn't
on
he?
his bicycle or a scooter.
Yeah, this
with an
trailer.
old wooden trailer on the back and a huge block of ice covered up with
Yeah.
like a wet blanket. And he literally just pulls the blanket off, gets his
Oh,
saw out,
yeah.
cuts a piece off, and it's just all melting and dripping as he rides along.
And
Yes, I don't know where
yeah.
it originally comes from.
No, yeah.
Don't know where
You'll
it's
have to
come
eat
from.
a lot though, with all the cycling you'll be doing
Yeah.
to get your energy back and things.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of
No,
method, or you're just
no.
going to kind
No,
of
we
wing
don't.
it?
We
You
just
If
yeah,
you-
we just wing it, don't we?
When you're going into
I'll have a stash
again,
of food.
if you go in like as we call it off-grid remote places, we do carry like food that packs. For instance, rice, dried foods, which you only having to add water to. High energy stuff like dried fruits. So it's basically stuff like rice, like porridge oats, sugar, just all high energy.
So like those military ration packs you get where you just like pour them in, or
No, we
don't really
don't
use
do it.
them,
We just
no.
it's all pretty just normal food that you just because again it's stuff that you're just picking up at a local store, anything that they're using, and that you can't have like special foods as such.
And I'm assuming you'll be going across some borders where, there aren't traditional tourist routes. So, do you think the language barrier is going to come into effect at all, or do you think
We
you'll
were
be
good
okay
last time
everyone?
because we used to draw pictures, didn't
Yeah.
we? If they
Yeah, you
didn't
don't-
understand, we just draw pictures.
Yeah, you get by, don't you?
Yeah, and in Cambodia,
There's no English at all. in
one time
Cambodia.
we at the border we were put in prison.
No,
weren't
that
we?
was Burma.
Oh, Burma, yeah. We got to the border late, and the border had shut, hadn't it? And so the border control guy was like, took our passports, took us in this
It's the police,
room.
actually, at
Yeah.
Burma, yeah. Well, the rules it's like when you're cycling through Thailand and like Laos, you can just pitch your tent anywhere. There's no problem. But in Burma, it's actually illegal to camp. You've got to stay in a hotel. If you're
yeah.
a tourist, you've got to have a booked
Accommodation, yeah.
We-
But
we-
some accommodation you go to and they say, you're a foreigner, you can't
Yeah, they
stay
won't let you
here.
stay there.
They had certain places that foreigners
And that's your
were
problem. So you
allowed
might be
to
say
stay,
cycling,
yeah.
right? You get up in the morning, you're off. You say, right, we're going to go to this village. We don't know what's there. So if it's, say, 50 mile, you get there, and you know there's a hotel there, guest house, but you get there and they won't
let you in.
Stay there. So then you're like, right, now we need to go and find somewhere where we can hide out and put our tents up. So, and that's what we had to do most of the time, was just tents and not, try and hide out.
Are there any other places that on your proposed itinerary that you think you're going to face anything else like that? Any sort of illegalities where you might have to stay in a hotel?
Yeah, I think it'll happen. Yeah, again, we don't.
It's like an Uzbekistan or something like that would strike me as a place where people would probably find what you're doing a bit strange, a bit out there.
You can get a lot of attention.
Mongolia, I'm looking forward to properly live with the nomads, because there it's just open and free, and
they
we just put the tent up anywhere.
Eagle hunters. I don't know if you've seen them on these documentaries, but it looks great.
It's one of like the sort of least densely populated countries in the world, isn't it? I think they all live sort of around the one city and vast expanses.
That's like on the east, more the east side as well. So we're on more the west, and we're doing the Gobi Desert. But we're just basically going straight up, straight north up to, I can't remember the name of the place where the eagle hunters are. So.
Are you just using a paper map to sort of plan your way, or do you think you'll be on Google Maps?
I like my paper map. I've got maps for everywhere.
Both,
so we do both.
So like I say, we've routed everywhere. Just basically, it's because when you look at your GPS, then you can still see. Basically, even if you've got no map visible on your screen, you can still see your little flashing dot where you are, and you can see the route you're planning, which is just like a blue line. And as long as I can see that, it's sort of you're heading in the right direction, basically, because you can do all the planning you want, and you can, which we have done in the past, and the roads are no longer there, or they've closed it off, or there's even unrest in that country, and you can't even go across the border. So you do planning to a certain extent, but you've always got to have that in the back of your mind that anything can happen.
You've always got to have a contingency.
Yeah, I was going to say, sort of the roads and things like that. Obviously, bikes get punctures and things like that. Sort of contingency plans for that. I mean, I cycle like 5 miles and I'll get a puncture like 100,000 kilometres. I can only imagine how many punches you guys miss.
Yeah,
Well, I did the whole of Southeast Asia, didn't I?
Yeah.
And my tour Blackpool to Spain, I didn't get one puncture. Nothing. But you did, didn't you?
Oh, I got plenty.
You got plenty, yeah. But yeah, we do have a.
But we carry the spares.
We have all the kit, don't we?
Yeah, so we can replace most of the standard things anyway, unless it's something.
What? This is a question for both of you. But what one place are you most looking forward to visiting? If is there one destination that stands out head and shoulders above the rest that you're most looking forward to?
Mine is this Mongolia. I keep going on about it, don't I? Because I just want to live with these people that just live in tents, the nomads, and see these eagle catchers, because I've seen it on telly. And it's just like in the middle of nowhere. So I'm looking forward to that.
Mine's, I've always, two places, is India is one of them, and just, I can't name all the places there, but in particular it's, mine's, Tibet and Nepal. Basically, I've always wanted to do Everest. So we are going to cycle to base camp anyway, as close as, and then trek to it. But my plan, I don't know if it'll happen or not, but I'd like to do Everest. That's the plan when I'm in Nepal.
So you think you might actually attempt to during this?
Yeah. Because it's my only opportunity is when I'm in that location. So I plan to maybe stay there for.
Is that something you both are going to?
I might just watch the
bikes.
I was going to say, is it 100,000 kilometres? Might as well summit Everest.
No, my plan is to stop there for however long we need to, prior to attempting that, and that'll be a different fundraiser again while we're there.
I think you're going to turn up to get one of these cargo ships and just decide you're going to swim instead. So obviously you're doing the whole cycling tour for prevent breast cancer, which is a different type of charity, isn't it? Because it's like your cancer research, they're looking for a cure, but I believe prevent breast cancer are more
finding a prevention, aren't they, for like the future generation of people, isn't
they
it?
Want to stop it.
Stop it happening, so people don't have to go through what I've been through. So
It's purely
just a prevention.
Have you throughout your treatment, have they been the charity that you've kind of liaised with and have been in touch with?
Because where I go for my treatment at Wythenshawe, it's the Nightingale Centre, and that's solely for breast cancer, isn't it? So it's become like a little family, because every time you go, you're there all the time, and you basically live there, and you get to know people, and we got to know the charity, we got to know the scientists, haven't we, and the consultants, and they're just great people.
Not many people know about them, because they are the only charity in the UK that focuses, purely on prevention, prediction and prevention.
And after everything they've given me, all the treatment, everything's been perfect, hasn't it, the way I've been treated, and it's like I can't just walk away and go, well, thanks very much, great job. I feel like I need to, and I want to do something to give something back.
It wasn't just like, she was told to go and have a mammogram. It was down to the Nightingale Centre that basically, again, it's down to this prediction, isn't it? It's like you've got it in your family, so they're predicting. So
they don't just leave you and go, so they go, right, we know you're going to get it, so we're going to do this, this and this for you. And
you're like, oh, wow, really? And this is what their aim is, isn't it? Is to, they can literally predict people that are going to end up.
And we've been to some of the
cancer.
talks, haven't we, that Prevent have put on with the scientists, these guys that are trying to find, the solutions, and they were brilliant. Yeah.
So how's it been going so far with your fundraising? Have you got a total that you're looking to hit?
Yeah, we have got a total. It's just a number, but my number is £300,000 is my plan, and so like at the moment it's not really started yet, because we're not really pushing that until we're on the road. Now, we're self-funding the whole tour ourselves, so that way any donations or sponsorship goes direct to the charity, because we are actually looking for various ways of raising funds. One of them is getting sponsors. So, for instance, a company sponsor, as an example, would donate, say, £1 for every kilometre, say, or there's not a limit to how many companies will take on board for sponsorship. So it doesn't have to be, because that obviously can add up to quite a lot of money, can't it? If we're doing 100,000 miles, so they
could just sponsor us for the year.
That's how I got the £300,000 figure. It was 3 companies, 3 sponsors at 100,000 per company over the 5, or we're actually saying now maybe 7-year tour. So we're looking at changing that now to rather than you'd sponsoring us for the entire 100,000 kilometres, you can, because things change within companies as well, doesn't it? Some companies, like especially in tourism, it's the way that they're set up, isn't it? They're sold off, aren't they? Maybe after a couple of years, so we can't. A company's not going to commit to a 5-year sponsorship. So we thought maybe sponsor us for the first 12 months in this, various countries. Yeah. And then we're going to be approaching people if they want to pay like a £5 monthly membership, so I think it works out. If we get 200, and I think we're looking at 250 people to pay this £5 a month, and it'll give us, I think that then guarantees us the £100,000. So you'd get like a monthly newsletter. It'd be quite a personal thing to people, to individuals.
And of course is it a Just Giving?
Yeah, and then there's a Just Giving page. But yeah, there's already donations on there, isn't there? So yeah, it's easy to donate. Just go on the website.
How would people find your page to donate?
Well, our website, if you just go on the website, which is all the W's.
Chris and Gabs cyclingtour.com.
Yeah, and then on there there's a Just Giving. There's just a Just Giving. There's the logo. You just click on there and it takes you straight to our page. Again, it's the same if you go on Facebook or Twitter. again, a lot of the time it always directs you back to our website anyway, so it's easy to find us. And Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, that's all. You can either type in Chris and Gabs World Cycling Tour, or you can just literally type in at World Cycling 2. That takes you straight there as well.
Yeah, you're on all the big ones, aren't you? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah, LinkedIn. They're all.
You name it, we're there.
Contact with you, LinkedIn.
You'll find us.
Well, that's been really good to speak to you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
On this sunny day in Media City, and we're sat indoors, so you've done us a great service there. So good luck, best of luck with your cycling tour and climbing Everest and whatever else.
Crazy stuff you're gonna do. Yeah.
I mean, you say you're cycling 100,000 kilometres and climbing Everest, but I'm expecting more now, to be honest.
There will be other things.
There will be more, yeah.
Because we want to. There's all these other fundraising, ideas we've got. So yeah, and we'll come
I
up
might
with
throw a
plenty
marathon
more.
in while I'm at it.
Well, they do an ultra marathon across the Gobi Desert, don't they? So you
Yeah,
might be able to get involved with that.
I know the Gobi Desert, yeah.
And you're going to update everyone, of course, across your
Yeah.
social media. You've got a load of equipment, like you say.
And we've got a
Your personal
tracker,
media
haven't we?
updates.
Yeah, we've got
we
a
can't
tracker.
Skype.
Oh, what's that?
24
It's a live.
hours.
It's a satellite tracker. So you can basically follow us 24/7. You'll just go on the website and it'll just be on one of the pages. It just says track us. And you'll just see the map again, like Google Maps, but there'll be a little flashing dot which will be us cycling. It'll also tell you. It tells you the current weather. It looks like one of these, like you see on the news, the weather reports. It shows you the current wind, the pressure, the temperature. It'll say our average speed, distance to date.
How I'm feeling.
I think you can even click on us, and it'll even take you straight to Just Giving if you want to donate. I think it has a little flag on us, donate, and it's the device. It's called a Spot Gen 3 tracker, which it's got little buttons on it. I can press a button and it'll send a preset message to whoever I decided to go to. But it also has a very special button which I hope we never need to use, which is an SOS button. And if we press that, it alerts all emergency services, like from police, ambulance, Coast Guard.
I've told Chris when he's tired he can't press it if he wants a helicopter to come and
to come and
rescue
lift him off
yeah.
the side of Everest.
But no, that's good. It's not on. I've got all the kit, but I've not made it active yet. Obviously, that'll become live on the 9th of July. It's the tracker page.
Excellent. So, just one more thing. When are you? What's the official date you're starting again?
July the 9th. From the Nightingale Centre at the Wythenshawe Hospital.
And people are free
so
to
you
come
can
down.
come and wave us off, yeah.
And it's on the website as well. If you go on our website, it's on you'll see it on the front page because it's like a poster on there. It gives the address, the time, because it's between 11:30 and 1.
Yeah.
We just say that because I know what it's like. People have to get there, park up, and because there's going to be the TV there, the press, and
you're going to be the celebrities for the day.
And then we'll certainly be gone by 1 o'clock. And, but we're doing I remember we're doing something called Meet the Mayor campaign. That's a new one I've come up with. I just started it because I thought as we're going down towards the ferry at Dover, I thought we're cycling through all the smaller places really on the whole. I think the first place we stop at is Buxton. So we're going to meet the mayor in most of the places because it's just good publicity. It brings in the press, but we're going to carry that on throughout the world, really, as much as we can. So we're going to, like the first one would be the mayor of Holland,
yeah.
mayor of Amsterdam, possibly some good meetups in London.
You have to get a few selfies on the go.
Yeah.
All these mayors, right? You'll be able to do like a mosaic when you get home.
Yeah, you could possibly see us outside number 10.
Actually,
he's trying to go himself there.
Actually, that is one thing I did forget to ask.
Yeah.
So I've seen on your social media over the past day or two, you've received a letter. It was all scribbled out. Bearing in mind this will be going out for 3 weeks. So can you divulge that information yet?
Yeah, we've just been asked more about the tour, the specifics, and there's a possibility we might be invited to meet Theresa May.
Very nice.
And the mayor. So because
Another mare.
I'd like to be stood outside that lovely shiny black door at number 10 with our bikes, because
That'd be
we've been that way. But we wasn't going to go through London, to be honest. But what triggered it off is because we do have a PR agency. Well, it's the charity Prevent Breast Cancer's PR agency, which is Peppermint Soda, based here in Manchester, and they're going to be getting us on the Lorraine show. Because originally I wasn't going to go to London, were we?
No.
Because like I say, we wanted to concentrate on more the smaller places, again, for the awareness with breast cancer. And so yeah, it looks like we're going to go into London anyway now. And so it's possibly the Lorraine show, and is it Good Morning Britain?
Britain, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you fancy getting a bike and
Yeah.
going with them?
Yeah.
Won't do Everest.
And if we've time, we'll fit in Theresa May and the mayor. But yeah, so it's meet the mayor.
Nice.
So it's going alright actually. That's so. I'm just gonna put some. I don't want to commit myself the way to too many
Too many.
mayors.
What goes on in your head must be absolutely crazy. The roadmap you've got going on inside there must be.
Because that's why I don't want to get too far ahead with arranging to meet people, is because we'll sound people out really, but I can't give dates because again we're not working on a strict date. Because like our main visas are China, aren't they?
Yeah.
So everything else we can get visas en
On the
route
way.
basically. With China's the one we was originally going through Russia, but because of what's happening with Russia at the moment, we just thought
And
we'd
visa's difficult.
yeah, and it was.
I went to Moscow in December,
Did you?
and it was
like
fantastic.
it?
So if you ever do get a chance to
Yeah.
go, I don't know if you've been before, but
No,
I've been on a
not
cruise
that.
ship. Yeah.
you've been to St. Petersburg. haven't you?
Yeah, but you had to be in a tour. They wouldn't let you off without being with a Russian guide.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I only really saw.
But you never know.
glossy
There is still
temples.
the chance we could. I know we couldn't go, could we? No, because it's the visa situation. Yeah, you have to get your visas first.
You
don't
need
you?
fingerprints,
For
don't you?
Russia.
Take your
we had to go
fingerprints
to the
now.
one in
Yeah,
Manchester
yeah.
and have our fingers done.
And with
on
cycling,
Yeah.
it's just not worth it, is it?
I think you'd have to get a special type
Yeah.
of visa, wouldn't you? And
No, we thought we don't need to do.
Faffing
We don't
around,
need to
yeah.
do Russia anyway. Most places we're going through are all like ex-Russia, aren't they?
Yeah, true.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, this all the stands. That'll be interesting.
well, like I say, best of luck to you guys. Thanks
Thank
for coming
you.
on, and
We'll keep in touch.
Yeah.
keep in touch, of course. Yeah. So don't forget, get Chris and Gabs worldcyclingtour.com, World
That's
Cycling
us.
Tour, all on social media.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And of course, if you enjoyed this, you can subscribe to our channel.
Please do.
Thanks for
Yeah.
watching, and we'll see you next time.